Hello friends, welcome back to another session of my financial predictions. Remember, we're covering only cryptocurrencies right here. So we have first the Bitcoin chart. Today is the 25th of May. And basically we saw a very volatile day. I was actually predicting this. I told you that this day was shared by opposite energies. So you see it on the green circle and the red circle. That always means volatility. That's exactly what we saw today. Okay, so it was not the most volatile day, but it was actually really nice in the sense that it offered some trading opportunities. So from the starting position to the current position, we're talking 1.5%. And if we go by the lowest point to the highest, we're talking nearly 3%. So nothing really bad. It's not impressive like the other days, but it's still quite... it's welcoming because after the dip that we saw after the Trump tariffs announcement on Europe, it's actually a pretty welcome pump. So what we can see, I believe, tomorrow is going to be most likely the correction day, the actual correction day that I was fearing. It may or may not be the worst. We'll have to see because there's another one coming by the 28 or 29. Which, because it's on the green circle as well, that means it's going to be very volatile. Kinda like today, and maybe more like other days, for example, on the 18th, that can provide good opportunities for longing, as you can see right here, and then shorting the same day. Okay, so maybe we can see something like that around these 2 days, maybe even both of them. So that's my warnings. And I also told you that the last circle is in red, so I believe the corrections will be in full force in the last 5 days of May. So take your precautions because crazy things are going to happen. May has been a very good month for cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin reached a new all-time high, just like I predicted, guys. I told you and I even showed you in the last video how in a Twitter reply, I actually predicted all of this, not only what happened in May, but also what happened in March, in February, and in April. So you see my trading accuracy is unmatched. Once again, basically always, all the time. Never dropping. So that's all I have really for Bitcoin, guys, because like I told you, a big correction is coming. 27, I believe, could be in range, maybe. Could also be very volatile, but for volatility, I'm more leaning towards 28, 29, and by then you'll see me very soon. So you'll see me again around the 28th, so right around in time for the last 4 days of May. So yeah, now let's go over for I believe it was Ethereum that we're covering. So Ethereum, guys, I was actually expecting Ethereum to be the best performing altcoin. That will be the second best performing cryptocurrency of the three that I am currently analyzing. But it's actually, at least for these recent days, it's actually underperforming compared to Bitcoin and Avalanche. So it's kinda interesting. At the same time, it's actually not surprising because, guys, I mean, Ethereum has been underperforming compared to Bitcoin for a long while now. Okay, we're talking a couple months at least. So yeah, this is not really that. For example, we see today 25. So this is around the starting position, somewhere around here, and this is the current position. So we're talking barely 3%, barely. And I was actually expecting a more volatile day, way more volatile. So maybe that day will be tomorrow again, because Bitcoin also showed potential for volatility today, and it was way more than Ethereum, but I was expecting a little bit higher. So maybe it's going to be the next day, but just like Bitcoin, guys, the next days look very red for Ethereum as well. You can see it's in a circle. There's no green except for the box, but red. But even 27 and possibly 28 are also in red. This is a much worse outlook than Bitcoin. So what this basically tells me is that we're going to see Ethereum underperform possibly even lower than AVAX in the next coming days. And basically, I can almost safely assume that it will continue to remain until the end of the month. So yeah, not so good for Ethereum. We'll have to see. I do have some charts that I made for some clients about the Ethereum peak, and we can recover in the next months. Actually, there could be some surprise around the last quarter. I have been actually talking about this ever since I dropped my altcoin season prediction. It's right around there in my channel. You just look at it. But yeah, around the last quarter. Anyways, let's go over for AVAX. So AVAX, guys, you can see very volatile day for AVAX as well. Very volatile. Not as good as Bitcoin, but much better. Definitely much better than Ethereum. So you can see it's actually around 8% to the highest position, and currently almost 3%. So I was actually expecting AVAX to underperform compared to all other cryptocurrencies that I am analyzing. I was actually seeing no chance. I mean, because Bitcoin still leads the market. Whatever Bitcoin does, the other cryptos will try to replicate. But I was pretty sure that AVAX in particular will be underperforming pretty bad, even worse than Ethereum, and that was not the case. So it's been quite a few surprises. I believe 2 or 3 circles that AVAX has basically ignored corrections, or at least they have not been as bad as I was expecting, and they were actually pretty good compared to Ethereum. So right now, as we can see, and basically since the month started, it's pretty obvious that Bitcoin is the best performing cryptocurrency. Okay, you can never go wrong with Bitcoin. It's actually the long-term asset. I don't really recommend. I don't really give financial advice, but it's pretty obvious, guys, that especially to newcomers, if you're going to invest in cryptocurrencies, don't go for meme coins. Okay, don't go for very rare, unknown altcoins. Go mostly for Bitcoin because that's the best performing asset in all of the crypto markets. You can never go wrong with that. So yeah, guys, basically the same outlook. Red days tomorrow, especially. Volatility around the 27, 28. This time Avalanche shows a much brighter outlook than Ethereum and almost as good as Bitcoin, I believe. In fact, it's actually a little bit better, so maybe these days Avalanche will continue to go even higher. Let's hope. But yeah, the last final days will be completely in yellow, which means either range, volatility, and what I think is going to be most likely the case is that basically it will follow whatever Bitcoin does. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Give some likes, give some comments, and share the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.